Alright. Every time. Every time it's the same damn intro. How you doing, Dan?
Great. Hey.
There he is. There we have it, Jamie and Dan. Merry Christmas. How was it bound? How was it plenty? How was the show?
If you don't fake it, then you're cool.
Everybody looks good. Everybody looks better than good. Everyone looks great.
You look good, Sam.
I'm working on my hoe as we speak.
You don't have the belly anymore. You really.
I trimmed down for the season. I like to fatten up in the summer.
I see.
This is sort of like the reverse beach bod.
Did Mrs. Claus get you a Peloton?
She got me a Peloton. She got me so many gifts. I just can't remember them all.
Yeah. Out training those reindeer, you know.
Yeah.
It's a workout.
There's Rudolph there. I had to skin him, unfortunately.
Poor guy.
Yeah, you know, he wasn't doing his job.
Yeah.
And that's just the thing. If he's gonna lead the sleigh, he's gonna have to not show up drunk every day. Yeah, it's a red nose. He thought that was his sort of like, he started to fade in his age, and I think that he thought drinking would bring the redness to his nose again.
Makes sense, yeah.
But, you know, he was right, unfortunately.
A little too much.
He's wrong about a great deal of other things. All right, that's enough about Santa and Christmas. That's really all we needed to get into for that, probably.
I just decorated my first Christmas tree this year.
Of your life?
Of my whole life, yeah. So I'm Jewish.
Okay.
And we don't decorate Christmas trees.
Right. Yeah. No, I figured
Sure.
maybe at some point you would have, you know.
No, but Adam and I both work for a studio, and we this year me and Adam didn't, but me and a friend of mine, Krikor, was the bass player.
He was on yesterday's episode with Matt.
Krikor was, oh yeah, that's right. So he and I went to the Museum of Science and Industry for a whole week, and we spent the week decorating their giant 50-foot Christmas tree in the Rotunda.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It was so much fun.
Yeah.
We went up. We were just up in the crane together, just listening to Christmas music the whole time, just having a great time. And that place is so cool. I would every morning. So our start time was 7. So I would get there around like 6:30. Just walk around the place in the dark, just looking for ghosts and stuff.
Right.
There's 2 ghosts at the Museum of Science and Industry. I don't
What?
know.
Yeah, I'm like, what?
Well, museums are haunted.
I was not aware.
Like museums and theaters are all haunted, and hotels.
Okay. By the former staff or by the owners of the plundered goods?
Well, it depends. Depends on the museum.
Okay.
Sometimes it's mummies.
Yeah.
In this case, I know there's 2 there. One of them is in the. Have you been there?
I have not. No.
So there's a whole street. It looks like a street would in like a market street in like the 1890s.
Okay.
With like a little, or I guess probably more like early 1900s, because there's like a little theater and like the original Walgreens and Apothecary and things like that. And I know there's a ghost in there. I didn't see it.
So as you're decorating the tree, you're having to kind of monitor the ghost situation.
Well, I figure I'm high enough that like that I'm okay. But what was freaky was because you're up on this 40-foot crane and it kind of swings a little, so it's already a little. It just feels a little precarious, and then every 5 or 10 minutes, or just randomly, they have this giant Tesla coil, and so you're up there and you're already like kind of a little nervous, and then like a big thunder crack, at the end of it. Yeah. It was freaky, but
Well, I mean, as far as like a Christmas tree to decorate your first one, you kind of like.
I nailed it, you know. That's
Yeah.
what I told my siblings, you know, because none of them had ever done a Christmas tree
Yeah.
before. I said, if we're gonna do one,
Wow.
it's got to be a big one downtown.
They've never dated a what do they Gentile
A goy.
or what do you call what do you call us again?
Yeah. Well, it's funny. Goy is the most
I like that name.
inclusive slur you can use.
Well, Louis C.K. had that joke. He's like, Jew is the only slur that essentially is just a change of inflection.
It's you put a little stink on it.
You can say
yeah.
Jew or you can say you. You know,
Yeah.
like,
That's right. Just a little stink on it, and it changes the whole thing.
yeah.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
That's, well, so I mean, yeah, is it on display? People can
Oh
look
yeah,
at
yeah.
it?
It's the giant. Go there right now. It's
Yeah.
the giant. It's right in the rotunda. Right in the middle of the place. It's huge. I'm going back
Cool.
there in January to take it down.
Oh,
And I
yeah.
told my boss, I said, like, I want to do this every year.
Yeah,
This is
yeah.
the best.
I might
That's
go check out
great.
your handiwork.
Yeah, you should. You should.
It's a cool museum, isn't it?
It's the
Or
best.
I think I've only been there one time. It was for
It's one of the best.
maybe
in
it
the
was
city.
for the David Bowie exhibit. They had all his costumes
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Was that Museum of Science and Industry? Wasn't that the Art Institute
mm-mm.
or Field Museum? Or?
No.
No, was Science and Industry?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
So what's on
You can
display
fact
there?
check me if you'd like.
So,
I mean-
so the place originally it was built in, I think in like, I don't know, I could very well be wrong, but I think it was in the 30s. When was the Chicago World's Fair? I think a couple of them. I think it was built
I couldn't tell you
It was
honestly.
built for the World's Fair,
Mhm.
and I think I could be wrong, could be very wrong, but it has that feel, that Chicago World's Fair.
Yeah,
There's the
yeah.
Field Museum and Navy Pier and stuff like that. And it was like a showcase. It's kind of like Disney's Epcot or displaying like the state of science and technology
Right.
and industry.
So, is it like charts and graphs and tools and like
Well,
I'm just thinking
no.
about science and industry.
Yeah, no.
You know,
So like for example, there's like a giant Tesla coil, and then
Oh,
there's
okay.
a giant was it Foucault's? I don't know. Is it Foucault's pendulum?
okay, yeah.
Which is what was used to prove, I think, the Earth's rotation.
Okay, is
There-
that the metal ball
Yeah,
that just
yeah.
is suspended and
That's right.
goes in the
That's right.
directions?
That's
Okay.
exactly right. And they have like a beautiful car exhibit of just some beautiful examples of early cars from like the
Yeah.
earliest motor cars to the 1920s roadsters and
Right.
stuff like that. And then there's like one of the coolest rooms is the miniature boats. It's all these like handcrafted miniature boats of famous ships, like the Santa Maria and the Mayflower and stuff, but just beautifully, meticulously crafted,
Really?
just
Like, to
gorgeous.
scale.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
It's
great.
So freaking cool.
I'm so guilty of not exploring my own city. Like I find myself bored way too often, even though I'm in a place that people literally come to vacation.
Sure.
I have nothing to do. I'm just like, turn your fucking head, dude. There's world class museums and restaurants, like as far as the eye can see. Like you have no excuse to be this bored.
I usually only see those places when someone's visiting.
Right. Same.
And then you get to show them,
Yeah.
And plus, but also then are you from Chicago?
Northwest Burbs.
Yeah, okay.
It's, but I mean, I've been coming to the city my whole life.
Yeah.
But still feel like I've only seen 5% of it. It's just like I still know there's so much to.
I always get amazed
explore
when I
and
drive
experience.
through a neighborhood that I've never been through before.
Yeah.
How did I miss this?
How about you? Are you?
I grew up in Skokie, so
Okay.
right there, and my whole life just running around the city. And,
Same. Have you ever been to the museum of? I think it's the Museum of Surgery, or it's yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, where's that?
That's near the lake, isn't it?
Yeah, it's right near the lake. I can't remember the intersection or whatever, but it's super fascinating because you go back and you look at the history of
Like Lincoln Park?
Maybe Lincoln Park, yeah.
Okay.
Like
But
your barber was your dentist.
exactly, and all these medieval, medical tools and implements and all this stuff, and you just thank God that you don't have to get any kind of surgery.
I always think about that. I'm kind of a retrophile. I'm ever since I was a kid, I was just always, even when I was a kid, I was nostalgic.
Yeah.
And it's just what I've always been into. But I always think like I'm so glad I live today to appreciate that stuff.
Yes.
I mean, think about going to the dentist in like the
It's
20s.
some of these for the time, these cutting edge tools.
Yeah.
They look like torture devices now.
Oh, sure. They would do like the exact opposite thing you're supposed to do. Like the bloodletting.
Bloodletting, yeah, exactly. And it talks all about that. So it's literally an entire museum dedicated to like medical, surgical history.
That's great,
So that's a very cool one.
You ever been to Woolly Mammoth in Andersonville?
It's a cool place.
Oddity shop.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I bought
some of this taxidermy, maybe.
the deer jaw.
Yeah.
It's hidden behind that brush over there. Yeah. Wow, a deer is a recurring theme here, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
It's an oddity shop, so they sell like vintage medical equipment.
Yeah.
They have a skeleton. They
That's
have
fun.
weird taxidermy. And one thing they have that I love is it's a giant. I think it's paper mache or whatever it is. It's a giant King Kong head from the premiere of King Kong.
Oh,
Which I
okay.
think
Yeah.
is 1933.
Nice.
How's that working out for you? I'll get a straw.
No,
Is it a paper straw?
that is not working. Oof.
Can't get any reality.
I just need to turn my back whenever I drink.
Speaking of like old museums and theaters and stuff, we sometime this past year we went and saw the original King Kong at the Music Box Theater.
Oh yeah, I have.
Cool.
I love that. I actually I watched Vanishing Point there. It's
Yeah,
like some
yeah.
of these like cartoons.
Yeah, of course,
It's
of
fucking
course.
So
Cool.
awesome.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just one of those beautiful theaters in the city, and it's
It's gorgeous, and they have such a great program too. Like different, when we saw King Kong, they had for the first pre-show for like an hour. There was they had that organ, that old theater organ,
Mm-hmm.
and there was a guy playing. He was only playing songs. He said from 1933, which is the year it was released. But I know for a fact some of those songs were. 34, 35, a little fibbing.
Call them out, yeah.
Yeah.
I actually had an interesting experience there. I was on a date. We were actually going to see Vanishing Point with this date. We're getting beers in
There we go.
the lobby there, and another date that I had been on with this chick, months beforehand, but it just didn't work out. We stopped talking. She walks up to me like. While I'm with this other date, and she's like, "Hey, you remember me?" I'm like, and I did, but I was like, "Oh no, I just had a place to," because I just didn't want to get involved. Like, I'm on a fucking date. Like, you just approach me, like, didn't work out. Like, I don't know, like, who does that? You just
Running answers.
Yeah, I guess so.
We're gonna do this right here, right now. Like, yeah.
That must have been tense. Did you explain it to your date, or did you let it unfold and disappear?
Yeah, no, I just played dumb. I was like, I have no idea what that was. Like, that day didn't work either. So
Yeah.
But yeah, it's still a good time though. I still
Good.
The theater's beautiful.
Still a cool
That's
theater,
the point.
yeah.
That's the most important. Yeah.
I actually a friend of mine. He worked there for a long time, and we would hang out there at night and play on the theater, or play on the organ, and just kind of run around the booths and stuff.
Oh,
like
that's
that.
awesome.
It was really cool. Yeah.
You know what?
What's up?
We're missing some Christmas magic, I think.
Okay.
I'm gonna repair that.
Can I help?
Yeah, that's good. You want to.
Oh.
Oh.
There's the magic.
Now the show can start.
There we go. All right, let's start over, guys.
Take two. But yeah, I was thinking back to that surgery museum.
Yeah.
I was thinking about what do you guys think are some treatments or some procedures that are done today that in 50 years we're gonna look back at and be like,
Oh,
holy
funny.
shit, like.
Yeah, maybe like we need our wisdom teeth.
Oh, that's pretty funny to think about.
I think braces are still so barbaric. Like
Yeah?
it's just, we're forcing your teeth like just by sheer force. Like we just have to wrench your fucking like
That.
you know.
That's
like,
how I feel about plant-based meat. Like they're just
yeah,
taking
yeah.
plants and just being like, be meat, just stop being plants, and they just like take it and just hold it down until it bleeds.
And they're not better.
That's a good.
They're
That's
not
true.
better.
Yeah, right?
That's how they make
they're
it.
so processed.
It's that's the part. You can't live an ethical life.
But
Everything
as
is.
hard as we all try, it's just you gotta pick your
That's why I don't even
poison.
try.
Yeah. Throw caution to the wind. Fuck it. I know there's someone worse than me. That's how I go to sleep at night.
Yeah, somewhere. Someone's the worst.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's I think about that, and thankfully I'm healthy, so I don't have to visit the doctor all that often. But I think about procedures that would be seen as barbaric in future time. Like I think we always think we have it figured out. You know? We're at the bleeding edge. So like, but yeah, in a century they're gonna be like, Jesus, you guys
got the vaccine?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you removed your wisdom teeth? Like, that wasn't very wise of you. But, yeah. How's it going over there, Adam?
I'm making a bunch of J's. I think they're supposed to be stockings.
You got anything in these days?
Yeah, I've got gifts in the ones that are closest to you, to both of you.
Nice.
The middle one is a gift to me. It's the gift of fleeting life.
The only gift we have.
It's the greatest gift there is. A life that ends quickly.
Yeah, right?
Not soon enough.
I watched enough vampire movies to know.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I meant.
Any Christmas plans? Do you do Christmas?
Not really, man. I mean, it's more just a gathering, just of family, but it's not we don't have even a tree up in my place. I mean, we exchange gifts, but it's not mandatory.
You don't wrap them.
It's super informal, you know. We're just, but
It's about the gathering.
we're not religious at all, so it's just always been more about that. It's not at all, you know, praising the birth of Christ.
More like
the
a holiday
Christ
of
and-
convenience because everyone's off work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually,
Like that.
Adam and I last year.
His brother Adam.
No. You,
Oh, this Adam.
You and me. Yeah, this
Got
Adam, the present Adam. We drove up and visited my parents' graves.
Yeah.
So it was a very.
Yeah.
It was actually a great day. It was like kind of I don't know. It was because he didn't have anything going on. I didn't have anything going on. I was like, this is what I do on Christmas. Like I'll go, you know, visit their graves. Parents are dead, obviously, so I should.
Was that after?
What's that?
Was that after we did the live painting thing, or was that 2 years ago?
That was actually 2 years ago.
Yeah.
No, that was actually the same day.
I think
That's
so.
right. Yeah. That's
When we
right.
finished, when we wrapped that episode thing, we went.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was, he obviously isn't celebrating the holiday or anything like that, so I'm just like, if you want to come with me. And it wound up being just this super fun day, and one of our other friends wound up meeting up, and we went and played poker and just drank and be merry. You know, it was like, I'll take this Christmas over any horse shit, you know, like.
The Christmas I would choose.
Yeah. I mean, I if you have a family and like that is, I get the warmth and the wholesomeness of it all. Like it's, I'm not shitting on it if that's your thing, but yeah, I'm not in that position. I'd rather hang out with my friends and yeah. let's eat Chinese food.
Chinese food, that's the Jewish tradition. Chinese food, bowling, and a movie. Every year, that's what we
sounds
did.
awesome.
It is awesome.
It's just like non-traditional Thanksgiving food and all that. It's like,
Yeah.
turkey and all that, but I've been to Italian Thanksgivings where it's just like, it's a whole different level of fucking, and I'm like, this is way better. This is what, but yeah. Because, Adam, are you doing anything? Or?
My sister always does a thing where all my siblings get together. My parents don't celebrate. They're Jehovah's Witnesses, so they're like...
Jehovah's Witnesses don't do Christmas?
Or any holidays. Or birthdays. They're kind of like the silent people. I don't know. The non-Amish in some ways, like in society's eyes, you know what I mean?
Right.
Because they still they walk among us. Exactly. I think it's more like they still go to public school and they, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's very much a separatist sort of lifestyle.
Sure. Well, I know all about that.
Yeah.
That's actually what, like Hanukkah, tonight's the first night of Hanukkah, and one of the main themes of Hanukkah that's kind of overlooked is it's like a rejection of assimilation.
Okay. So do not appear on camera. It's like the day one day you're supposed to avoid cameras, right?
That's right, yeah. Are you wearing elf ears on your...
No.
What is that around your neck?
Oh, this is an elf that I de-eared.
That's what I said, an elf ear.
I mean, not on my ears.
No.
Yeah.
You cut off the ears of an elf.
There's one way to... There's only one way to get an elf to work. You know how there's more than one way to eat a Reese's cup.
Oh, awesome.
I think that's the saying, I think. And this is more like there's only one way to get an elf to work.
Uh-huh.
How
do you eat your Oreo?
You
I actually don't eat it.
Corporal
I haven't
punishment.
had Oreo in a decade. No, it's but generally I just mash the whole thing.
The whole thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
You don't
I don't do the twisty. I don't do it.
The Oreo?
It's overrated.
Yeah.
I think that it's nice to add some variety to the Oreo experience. Like it's a rare it's a rare time that I just bite into one.
Yeah.
But being left with the dry cookie without any cream is kind of unpleasant sometimes.
It's not a very good cookie.
Yeah.
It needs the cream.
Yeah.
That's why I mean, it was designed to be eaten together, and I just eat it. These people who do the whole...
Not how I wanted you to eat that cookie.
But you got, put the milk in there. It's actually a nice little treat.
Pretty good cookie.
I'm Team Chips Ahoy, honestly.
Chips Ahoy? Crunchy or chewy?
Crunchy. Yeah, chewy's, it's...
My dad always says
such a very
soft cookies are for soft people.
Interesting.
I'm getting that tattooed on my back.
This tonic is growing on me. I'm gonna say with the whiskey, it really helps.
It's really good for your soul. I think that it's like it warms up the
cockles.
What's that?
I've heard it said.
Okay.
Look it up.
Hey Siri, what are cockles?
She
was actually listening.
Siri helps out on the show quite a bit. She's helped out on quite a few episodes, I think.
I'm glad I went with the vodka.
Oh yeah.
Honestly, and I think it was the citrus in it. It kind of had a.
Oh, it's totally
It had an acidic kind of aftertaste.
Yeah. It's like combating flavors, pretty much.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think so.
The whiskey is really.
I think so. I think so too. Yeah. So it's like a healing tonic in some way. Like it's if I had a cart, I could be selling it as like a heal all sort of thing.
Yeah. Did you know that speaking of wild medical malpractice, they used to grind up mummies and use like mummy dust for
I've heard of that.
all sorts of things. Like
For paint.
Victorian area.
Mummy
paint
brown, or what was
Yeah,
what's the color called? Mummy something.
It's called
Mummy brown or mummy yellow or mummy white. I forget what it was called, but yeah, it was definitely used for
Yeah,
that.
yeah. It was used for paint mix. It
Yeah.
was used for makeups and
It's so intense.
Both of them.
It's
Yeah,
so
yeah,
extreme.
yeah.
Why?
because I think it was like the
They weren't in short supply, or
Well, it's corpses. It's just dead people. You know,
Mhm.
it's just wrapped in a thing
Yeah.
and embalmed and all that. But like, I wonder why.
that's kind of fun. That might be an interesting thing to do. If I could be turned into paint after I'm gone,
oh yeah,
it's kind of a cool thing.
Some
Yeah.
people.
Someone's gonna paint something awful though with it. You'd have to make sure it goes to the right person,
Yeah.
because they're just gonna paint like dog portraits or something.
Yeah, yeah.
And you're like, ah.
Like,
Yeah, put me in a spray paint can. Like, let me be graffiti or something.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be a Banksy or maybe.
Well, I mean, hopefully.
One could hope.
If you're lucky.
Opposite would be you're covered over with like another paint roller, or like
Yeah.
removed with some kind of like
Yeah.
paint thinner or some kind
Or
of
you get
solvent.
thrown onto a Picasso to stop oil.
That-
Have you seen those guys?
yeah.
Is it working? Did they stop yet? The production of
Did they stop
oil?
oil?
Yeah,
I think climate change is solved, actually.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah, I think they
They
actually.
got it.
they did a really good job.
So I'm just props to those.
Yeah,
those
I mean,
heroes.
I hope that they are able to open the PR company that they're gunning for.
But you
Hopefully
heard-
they got enough donations that they can put to a brick and mortar location.
What was the one where they literally like glued themselves to something and they moved it like to a back room and just left them.
Oh yeah. It was like a rail or something.
Yeah,
They
it's like,
glued
they're like,
themselves to
okay,
a
well,
rail.
they're just gonna put you here.
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah.
That's my favorite one when I see them putting glue.
Yeah, and actually, I think it was like a Porsche exhibit or something like that.
Uh-huh.
And they just shut the lights off and left them there.
Great.
And they were begging for like a bucket or whatever
Oh,
to piss
good.
in or food,
Yeah,
and they're just
good.
like, nope, fuck off. Like,
Yeah,
I like that.
jeez,
yeah,
that's
power move.
definitely that's a disarmed
Just like,
disarmed person
Totally
right there.
reveals
That's
how
for
it-
sure. Jesus.
silly it all is. Do you guys have I guess a plan or whatever you guys want to happen when you pass? Is it you want a straight burial? You want to be cremated? You want to
I don't. Yeah, I know I want a death mask.
turn into paint?
A death mask?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
that's
mean
pretty
that
cool.
everyone should have that one.
What's that?
Why not have that?
It's like they plaster cast after you die. Like it's pretty common for heads of state. Like there's
like a bust, like
yeah,
okay,
like Lincoln had.
Yeah, a
one,
cast of your
Caesar had
face.
one.
Yeah, and I think that's cool.
Yeah, it's pretty
Just
cool.
to have that. And
Yeah.
Edvard Munch had some made. I remember. That I got to see one in person.
Oh, really?
Like, yeah, look right at it. Like in the collection of the guy I studied with in Norway, he had Munch's death mask.
Wow.
It's insane.
What you gotta do is.
I think there are several copies made of people like that.
Well, that's what you gotta do. You gotta make a bunch of them and then do an artist series.
Yeah,
You know, like they did with those.
And you can
Darth
sign-
Vader helmets.
you can get the artist to sign them all too.
Yeah.
Just use their hand and like film their hand like with a pen like taped to it.
Yeah, I think I just recently read about the tree pod where you're put into
Oh, right, right.
you're essentially a giant like seed.
This came up yesterday actually. Creekor mentioned the tree
really?
the tree death
Yeah.
pod.
Huh.
Tree death pod. Yeah.
It's a death tree.
Yeah, I mean, it seems let me contribute like my
It's cool.
nutrients to.
Yeah, I like that too.
That might be a cool one.
Mhm.
Like to be launched in space like Spock.
There you go.
Hey, that's
Yeah.
cool.
And maybe land on some planet or asteroid that revives you. You know. and
Ideally.
they have the technology to
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, why not
reanimate
why not
you.
play the odds, you know? You could better than being here on Earth.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And who knows what'll happen? Who will find you? And they'll
I've
be like, "Oh,
experienced-
what is this? This is it," and you might wind up being resurrected, cloned maybe to
Dug
represent
up and
the
put
entire
in-
human race.
Dug up and put in a museum,
Yeah.
Right.
or your body gets ground up and put into paint.
Hmm.
Again, that's I think that's one of the better options for sure.
I guess so.
But
Uh,
yeah, I've
yes.
experienced Earth. Get me the fuck off this thing. It didn't end well here. I mean,
Ended in calamity.
I'm gonna try that.
So I don't know if I really answered honestly. I mean, I thought about the death mask, but that was about it.
Yeah.
I think. I don't think that I would want to be buried alongside other people in a graveyard. I just find that to be not just boring or something that I have to be like, entertaining in death, but but I think that it's more like
Like Lennon.
which
not,
one?
Not John Lennon, the communist. Yeah.
Okay.
Lennon.
Yeah. What?
Yeah, he had, his body's on display. At the,
Oh, sure, okay.
In the
Yes.
Red Square or whatever.
Uh-huh.
I heard he's just getting flatter and flatter.
Yeah,
That's fine.
Really? Just
Yeah.
deflating.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I mean,
Decomposing, I think is.
There's like a hard red light in there.
Yeah.
It's all great.
it's hard to say what I would want honestly. But I haven't heard anything catchy enough yet. Where like,
Yeah,
Like-
you're not sold.
yeah, no, like so. Anyone out there selling in this industry, like if you want to just like start pitching ideas to me, like you could just feel free, pitch your ideas, call my phone after work hours, after office hours, in the evenings when I'm home, you can call and just kind of lull me to sleep with your sales pitch of what to do with my bod.
See, I was team cremation forever, and
Yeah.
I still think that's probably my default. But then I saw this tree pot thing. I was like,
Hmm.
It's not bad.
yeah, I think that's and obviously there's no religious connotation to it or anything like that. It's just, I'm just fucking warm food.
Mhm.
It's very in line with a atheist kind of mindset. It's just lights out on warm food kind of thing. Yeah, I think it's really rough for me.
Hard atheist, correct?
Not as much anymore.
Yeah.
But
Interesting. What
yeah.
happened?
Not by no
You
means.
saw a ghost?
But yeah.
Yeah.
By
Have
no-
you ever seen a ghost?
I have not.
Have you ever seen a ghost?
Only on camera,
Oh, really?
with actors present in the scene also.
It was a casted ghost?
Oh wait,
Yeah.
Halloween. I see him every year.
Yeah. My dad was saved by a ghost.
What?
Yeah, when he was a kid.
He was what?
He
Sorry.
was saved by a ghost.
Okay.
When he was a kid, his ball rolled into the street, and he went to go get it. It was like a really wide city street. So he went to go get it, and this bus comes barreling by, and he's a little kid. And when the bus, my grandmother's freaking out. By the time the bus passes, he's all the way on the other end of the block. And again, it's a wide street. He couldn't have done it on his own. Anyway,
Sure.
he says that the man saved me. He's like, okay, all right. There's no man around. There's nothing around.
That's unbelievable.
They go home, and up on the mantle is a picture of his uncle who's been dead for years. It says,
Oh.
that's the man that saved me.
Interesting. Really?
Just saying.
Interesting.
He's, that's the story.
How old was he?
He's a little kid. I don't know. But it's corroborated by my grandmother and my aunt.
All right. See, every instance that I've had, or every encounter I've had with any kind of ghost or whatever, I was able to rationalize and logic it out to like, oh, that's actually what it was. And I'm just saying for me, my friends and I, we used to do this thing called ghost hunting.
With Ian and
Familiar.
right?
Yeah.
I was doing it at the Museum of Science and Nature.
Yeah, that's right.
That guy
I didn't know if it was just like a bored suburban kid thing. Like we just had nothing else to do, so we just went to graveyards and like try to conjure spirits and do all this fun stuff. But the few times that he was adamant, he's like, "Did you see that or whatever?" I was always like, "But that wasn't that. It was this." And one in particular, he had this method where we drive by this particular graveyard where he said that it was very active. Essentially, it was
Yeah.
a lot of spirit, a lot of ghosts.
I don't mean to laugh. I mean,
no.
I know it's really serious.
It was fun. It's silly. It's but so you drive by, and there'd be two cars, and the lead car would shut its headlights off, and the following car would keep its headlights on, and he claimed as you drove by in that formation, you would see spirits and ghosts chasing your car essentially. So, and he was in the lead car with me, and I shut my lights off, and he's like, "Look, do you see it? Look in the mirrors," and you could see around the car. It was like this kind of like spooky looking thing.
Yeah.
It was the exhaust fumes from my engine creating the shape.
Oh my god!
I'm just saying that was my interpretation.
Do you know what cemetery that was?
It was out in Bull Valley, Illinois,
here in the suburbs. I forget. I used to be really into this. I forget the names of the haunted cemeteries.
There was I can't remember.
There's Mary.
But there's quite a few out there that are hotspots. It was fun. And I didn't ever shit on him for thinking about what he did, but I just could never. I was never convinced.
You weren't convinced. See, that's the thing. I'm not convinced either, but I'm so close. I'm so ready to be convinced.
Yeah.
So I just need.
If I may. What do you believe that is? Then is it a soul? Is it a
spirit, a tortured spirit, or it could be a demon. It could be interdimensional being. I don't know.
Very interesting. I mean, I honestly wish I could be convinced because I think it's so cool. If that were to be a thing, I would be the first in line to be like, haunt me, please. I want to feel your presence. I would but I don't know. I just have that cynical mind, So I try to reduce everything down to its most.
I did. So on Passover night, there's the during the Seder. Do you know what a Seder is?
No.
Mm-hmm.
Passover. So Passover.
That's the
Seder,
goat. That's the goat-legged deity, right?
Not that Seder. So it's a Seder means order, and it's the order of which you tell the story of Moses and the Jews leaving Egypt. Mm-hmm. You tell the story of our liberation, and one of the at the end of the night, one of the things you do is you welcome a prophet named Eliyahu into the building. They say he visits much like Santa Claus. He visits every home that's having a Seder.
Is that where you hide the little pieces around the house and kids find it?
That's part of it.
I've done one before. I've been at one before, and that was as an adult, and that was done, and it was like $20 or something was in each one or something like that. Yeah. It was cool.
Is this, forgive my ignorance, but is this the lamb's blood?
Yes, that's right. Okay, because we would paint the lamb's blood on the doors, and the angel of death passed over our house.
Gotcha.
Jeez, it's so metal.
It's in many metal songs. It really is.
And so one of the things you do is you welcome Eliyahu into the home, and you put out a glass of wine for him. And all the kids, you stare very closely at that glass of wine to see, and usually like your older brother or something would shake the table and be, damn it, I'm trying to. I swear, I've seen it.
That's awesome.
I don't know.
I wish I could. I don't know. Because I think part of it is you need to be open to it, right? At least in terms of ghosts, I'm saying not necessarily that tradition, but
until it's thrust upon you.
Yeah. Right. Then you have no choice. But
that's right. When you see Casper or Slimer.
Nobody asked for that,
Casper was friendly though. I thought.
Yeah, but it's
still scary. You can be friendly and scary.
Yeah, that's true.
That's how he proves it. I think was it the movie with Christina Ricci where he needs to be scary?
Yes.
And he can't be scary.
Well, does he need to be scared? Oh yeah, because they're the party or something. The she's
It was some kind of
I think a lot of guys can relate to trying to be friendly but coming off as scary.
Oh, everything I do is scary.
He's like, I'm just trying to be nice, and then it's like, get away from me, creep.
Right.
Speaking of burials and ghosts and whatnot, you ever heard of the bell that they used to bury people with in case
they were alive?
Yeah, in case they were alive.
Right.
Yeah, it was a foot pedal that you could press with your foot in case you could come back to life or wake up.
I heard a story. It's pretty awful, but it's also so funny. This guy's wife died, and then she was in the morgue, and then she had woken up and walked home, and I think it was like a snowstorm or something, and she's pounding on the door, and he wouldn't let her in because he thought she was a ghost. And then she died from the illness.
Jeez.
Of all the times that we were mistaken.
Hey, your wife's alive. It's a ghost.
And ironically, she became a ghost.
That's right.
That's the way.
On his ass for sure. Terrible. I didn't know that.
We looking handsome over there?
Currently you have no faces. So
For the best.
there's I get a general gist about this point of the postures, the major shapes and the anatomy, and then I select a pose based on your natural movement, and because no one ever goes into a single pose for this, that would be weird of me to expect it to. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I wind up settling on one, and they're generally like several moments that are captured in that pose, while I still try to maintain that the person has a spine and like a skeleton underneath there, so they're not just floating around limbs and stuff like that.
Do you like play with it in your sketch and then like lock it in?
Yeah, I do a really swirly thing in the beginning of every painting, which kind of serves as like this measurement tool, like this arc that I use, and I kind of get a general gist of where your heads are. So I'll make like an arc, and then I'll do like circles and just kind of indicate the spine for where your posture is, and then I like just build on it. So it's like
it's kind of like clay.
I mean it's pretty malleable at that point, and I don't really settle into it until I decide. That's not true. I've changed poses like halfway through the episode based on like, that'd be more interesting or something like that.
Sure.
Or I'll have 4 legs painted on one person because they change positions a couple times, and then near the end I decide on which one.
Oh, I see. Gotcha.
So really, I think that only happened one time, but it's like you're just kind of like working with whatever you've got to make it an interesting painting. Mm-hmm. Well, trying to make it also correct enough correct enough for me to have learned something by the end. So you're my teachers, accidentally, but also very much on purpose, probably.
You're this is the 22nd episode?
This is well, technically.
Roughly.
But I think one didn't air.
Uh-huh. So are you 22 paintings better?
Yeah.
Than you were then?
Yeah. And I mean, I can notice a difference. I don't really care about like what any of my peers would think as far as that goes. If they're just like, this guy's a phony, he's a fraud. It's like what an amateur.
You are wearing a fake
These aren't.
Right now.
Yeah, these aren't masterpieces at all.
Yeah.
What is this garbage?
How dare he
I came for masterpieces.
Yeah.
It's like, but a preschool teacher might watch this and say like, every painting is a masterpiece, and that's my ideal audience.
Yeah.
Teachers.
Preschool teachers. Yeah.
That is a really interesting aspect of the show, though, is that just like any other show, it gets, well, not necessarily every other show, but it tends to get better. You know, like
Yeah, absolutely.
you find your kind of your
The language is being built.
Yeah, and I'm not even thinking about that, but of course your painting skill is gonna get, your method is gonna get better.
Yeah,
it's gonna get more efficient, and you're gonna
ideally, yeah.
you won't,
That's just the way that I think that I work as a painter and as a person.
yeah,
That if something's not improving, then I should stop doing it.
sure,
Like so when if I settle on something and say like I'm good enough, I'm good enough, I'm as good as I need to be,
killer.
then it's sort of like okay,
Yeah.
I could choose a million ways to relate that trait to like individuals who I've known in the world who are artists, and it's like it's not worth it's not worth describing. It'll sound like I'm insulting them just because I'm like identifying them. But like it's
I know
like
what you're saying, though.
It's like Chuck
that
Berry.
guy, like that guy and that girl and that person, or they all attach themselves to that character or something. It's like you could easily do that, and it sounds so much like judgment when you identify. That's all you're doing.
Well, like Chuck Berry, Run Run Rudolph, down to be good.
Famous guitarist, famous farter.
Yeah, that too.
I didn't know how to.
Wait, who?
Chuck Berry.
Well, apparently he had a flatulence king.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I knew that he had hidden cameras in bathrooms at his hotel chain, right?
That too.
Not to disrespect him, he's a fucking killer.
Yeah.
And not just king shame either. That's your thing.
Yeah.
I bring him up because when he when he came out, he was an unbelievable guitarist.
Mm-hmm.
And if you listen to those early records, like his articulation is excellent, and he was really pioneering he wasn't the only one doing it, but he was a part of a class of pioneers of rock and roll.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then all those early, all those mid-50s records are excellent. And then once he kind of got defined, and this is what he does, you could tell he kind of rested on his laurels for the rest of his life.
He plateaued.
Yeah, if you watch him in the 60s
dangerous.
and the 70s, he doesn't really, he doesn't improve. You could tell he stopped writing, you could tell he stopped practicing, he's just been touring for, and look, he made his contribution, and that's bigger than anything else.
Well, yeah.
So
I mean, it's changed the landscape of guitar.
Totally.
So
So
it's more than most people can say. But
exactly. So, but he lived long enough.
the point stands though that he obviously he hit a point where he felt like he didn't really have to.
That's right.
Work towards anything anymore.
That's right. We're not hungry anymore.
Yeah.
So,
and anybody who claims that they've reached any sort of like finish line, I'm and even people who are objectively virtuosos or masters or the greatest in their field, even if they were to say it, even though it's true, it still would come off as really dude, like that's
no.
You think, I don't know, I think of some of the greatest guitarists in the world, or greatest actors in the world.
Who's your favorite guitarist? You play guitar, right? That's your main instrument?
Yes.
Do you have a favorite guitarist?
It varies, it's almost genre dependent.
Sure.
But man, my kind of go-to is Stevie Ray Vaughan. He's probably like my. I always go back to him. But I have so many. I love Mark Knopfler. I love
Who?
Dire Straits.
Okay.
Sultan's Swing.
You ever heard Hollywood Fats? I was just listening to him on the way over here.
No.
So he's a jump blues guitar player, but I was listening to him like it's kind of like similar to like T-Bone Walker or something, but it's really heavy. And I have a friend, Matt, works in metals.
Matt, I forget his last name, but yes, I know who you mean.
Forgetting right now.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, he loves Stevie Ray Vaughan. I was just about to tell him I was going to recommend him Hollywood Fats because it's just really heavy, excellent blues guitar, but like with a little like that jump blues that has like a little bit of jazz in it, a little more to it, but just a really heavy. I don't know if he's from Texas, but he sounds like he's from Texas. He just has that grit in his playing.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. See, I'm a metal guy, so so all my favorite guitars based in blues anyway. You know, it's, But you know, I'll venture into prog metal and all that kind of stuff, which just incorporates so many different kind of styles of music. Think of like even like a Steve Vai or like a John Petrucci from Dream Theater, just insane shredders, but they can do literally anything. Like it just literally virtuosos. Like these guys,
breaking the mold.
Exactly what I was just saying. Like they're the greatest guitarists on earth, like technically, and but
Zappa guy.
I'm not as familiar with this stuff as I should be, but everything I've listened to, it's been super interesting.
Yeah.
I just is that more your wheelhouse?
Well, I mean, as far as not that he was metal, but his progressive.
For the time,
I
mean, even today,
it could be
actually.
metal at that time.
Right.
But just really progressive, really unbelievably proficient playing. You know.
Were you saying jump blues?
Jump blues, yeah.
JUMP?
Yeah.
Okay, I haven't heard that term before.
It's like jump blues is kind of the cross section between jazz, blues, rockabilly, and and boogie woogie. It's like a very specific kind of late 40s, early 50s. Kind of pre-rock and roll.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it's another term for rock and roll, or like rhythm and blues. Or,
It's like stuff you could dance to. Like
it's really, totally. It's very, it's a lot of, like, I don't know if you ever heard like Louis Jordan, Is You Wiz, Is You Win.
Oh, great.
You know, like that. He's like a quintessential.
Tom and Jerry.
Yeah, that's right. Tom and Jerry.
That was my introduction to that one.
That's
definitely.
like quintessential jump blues.
I love that cartoon. That was such a good one.
So good.
It's
great. There's a really great Looney Tunes called it's called the Hepcat. There's a few of them. There's the Hepcat. There's Hepcat or Catnip College. It's about a swing class, swingology. One of the kids is a square, and he's got to learn how to swing.
Gotcha.
That's
fun.
Yeah, no, I love classic American animation, particularly Looney Tunes. It's the jazz. Whereas like Disney is the classical music of animation. Looney Tunes is jazz.
Right.
That's pretty funny.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I actually saw recently it's just a short video on the actual process of creating a moving scene and all the cells and like how that.
What did you watch that on? Was that VFX? Sorry, was that Corridor Crew?
I can't remember.
I wonder if I saw the same thing. Was it the multi-plane camera that
Yes,
Disney invented?
exactly. Unbelievable technology.
Yeah.
But it's like even by today's standards, it still seems so advanced. You know. It's incredible. I think it looks better than CGI and whatever computer generated shit.
So I was really excited about Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Did you see that?
Yeah, that was fun.
I think anybody that was in animation school at the time that movie came out is gonna change everything.
What did they do?
Yeah.
Well, they basically what they did was they broke the mold. They took some a bunch of different computer processes, classic animation processes, and really stylized it. So certain things like forced perspective or there's time. Here's an example. So there's one scene where the new Spider-Man, or the old Spider-Man is teaching the young Spider-Man how to swing.
Okay.
And the old Spider-Man is swinging at 24 frames a second, which is like full speed, full animation. That's well, like 24 frames a second is like what film cameras film at. And the young Spider-Man is swinging at 12 frames a second, and it's a little more choppy.
Yeah.
And as he develops the movement, they start adding frames until they're both running at 24 frames a second together.
Whoa.
Just a lot of like really experiments. And
really cool.
It's very experimental. It's very expressive. I think it's the best animated movie since, I don't know, American animated.
So the whole thing is animated?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. I didn't realize. I didn't know it was like a blend of live action with animation or.
No.
Sometimes they'll do that.
It's all animated, and it has a lot of like computer graphics in it, but still has a lot of like analog processes and techniques used in it too, to create this like really explosive.
That's great.
It's unbelievable.
It's not just another generic CGI pumped out. You know what I mean? Like that's so awesome.
It's the best. It's the best Spider-Man movie I ever made, as far as I'm concerned.
I always think that like I know these movies make literally billions of dollars, so you know I don't have any grand ideas about how to run these companies or make decisions for them to make them profitable or not. But I always think if they were to actually just put out a movie with an old style animation or something, I think it would do amazing.
Well, what's weird to me is that they say it's too expensive, but the money that they do spend to create, I don't think it's cheaper. You know, they spend, the money's there, you know, they're spending it on it still takes, you know, the artists.
If they put out a 50s era Disney movie, if Disney actually put that out as opposed to another, CGI fucking thing,
Preaching to the choir.
I think people would be fucking.
Are you familiar with Max Fleischer? He did Popeye.
Sounds familiar.
Okay.
He invented rotoscoping, which is where they animate over live action to get really fluid movements. His Superman cartoons from the 40s are the most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
That's awesome.
And the Batman the Animated Series from the 90s, it was a kind of a updated homage to the
I didn't know that.
Superman show, and it's
cool.
They're both gorgeous.
That's great. So are you an animator?
No, I love it. I grew up in the 90s, which is arguably the second golden age of animation.
Yeah, same.
It was right at the end, right at the end of that studio process before everything started switching over to computers. And you can see it in Batman the Animated Series. The first few seasons has such a lush, gorgeous soul to it, and then by the fourth season, it's a lot. You can first of all, the animation style was very much streamlined, and it's a lot colder in my opinion. Some people say it's better. I certainly don't agree. Yeah. But
very interesting. Yeah. It's actually the first thing I ever wanted to be. I remember being 5 years old. I was like, I want to be an animator on The Simpsons specifically.
That's pretty funny.
Best show ever made.
And I remember.
I mean that
100% agree with you.
Whoa.
Yeah. No, that's
nice. That's great.
But I remember it was like a career day in first grade or whatever, or kindergarten. They asked you, what do you want to be? And I was like, I want to be an animator on The Simpsons. And I tried to draw like Maggie or something like that. I was literally a kindergartner, so it looked awful, but just a kind of I look back on that, I obviously didn't pursue it, but just kind of an unconventional dream for a kid, you know. It's not astronaut, not.
Well, I don't know. Kids watch cartoons. It's relatable, you know.
I didn't know anybody else who wanted to do it. I mean, it was just, but I loved drawing at the time. I just never kept up with it.
Yeah, you don't draw anymore.
No, I don't at all. It's I have coloring books because I actually find that fun and like kind of therapeutic.
Satisfying.
Just sit down and do it. It's
Satisfying.
nice. But,
Oh yeah, that reminds me of one of your gifts. It's right there
oh jeez.
on that table on top, the book.
What?
Yeah.
Thank you, dude.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if you already have that. I don't remember if you have that.
Let me.
Whoa. No, I hugged him.
Really?
I saw Motorhead in Milwaukee, and it was the end of the set. And it was like during their encore. That's awesome.
That's great.
That is bad. Oh, look at his. Yeah, he collected the.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Wow.
Thank you, Adam.
Yeah, yeah.
That's cool.
So these are all different artists who do each page. It's like they came together and made the book.
Right.
It's cool.
I crowd surfed to the front of the stage, and I saw my opening. I used to do that back then. I was like, I don't know, I was really scrappy. And I saw my opening, and I was a gymnast back then. I leaped up on stage just real quick, and I hugged him, and I got kicked out, and it didn't matter because it's the end of the show.
Was it worth it?
Yeah.
Cool.
And he died, I think maybe a year or two later after that.
Man.
Really?
Yeah.
How did they sound? Like I was.
Oh, it was awesome.
Really?
Well, it was awesome, except they have this one song. I don't know if you ever heard it. It's like this blues acoustic song that they do. It's pretty god awful. And I love Motorhead. Don't get me wrong, but it's just a bad song. So.
Yeah. Motorhead ballad. Just.
Yeah,
sounds
Motorhead
like
ballad.
It doesn't
Yeah,
make
you don't.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, I never got a chance to.
He would hang out. I lived in Hollywood, and he would hang out at the
Rainbow.
Was it Rainbow?
Yeah.
And then he was there just all the time.
You
and
see him?
A lot of my friends would see him. I maybe went there 2 times.
Yeah.
I think I might have seen Ron Jeremy there or something like that. But it's not like not a memorable thing. You just see someone across the room like that.
Yeah.
But-
Saw Christopher walking in an airport once. I
Cool.
was gonna go say hi to him, but there was this woman talking to him, and he just had this look on his face. I could see he was giving one-word answers.
Yeah.
He was
Oh
not interested.
God.
So I didn't buy it.
I in general feel like that.
Yeah.
Even as someone I'm a massive fan of, I don't think I can bring myself to be
Yeah,
that.
you'd have to have the most interesting thing in the world to say to them.
I'm not
Otherwise, it's
that
just
wild.
like, can I take a picture with you?
At Ozfest, he was
Cool.
we were on our way out, and he was on the other side of the fence. We shook his hand over the fence,
That's
and then
fun.
he got on his tour bus, and a bunch of Hell's Angels followed him on.
Nice.
It's pretty on brand.
Yeah. I met Ozzy, but that was at a book signing.
Oh, I met Dave Mustaine outside of a Megadeth show.
Cool.
Just shook his hand, but I don't really have any celebrity encounters that are notable.
Yeah.
You got the lunch with Clint Eastwood and his family.
That's right.
You had lunch with Clint Eastwood? You had lunch with Clint Eastwood?
Yeah.
Why?
A friend of mine, Ryan Schultz, was being potentially commissioned to do a portrait of their family.
Uh-huh.
So he was visiting me when I was living in San Francisco, and he told me that they're divorced now, but Eastwood's ex-wife reached out to Ryan and told him that they'd like to meet him.
Yeah.
And I didn't have a car at the time, so I borrowed our mutual friend's car. He was like, "You have to do that. You have to go."
Yeah.
And he was like, "You can use my car." I was like,
You gotta go.
"Yeah." He's like, "But you have to be the only one you're the only one allowed to drive my car," because we're just 3 artists going down the coast. So, he reaches out. We get in contact with them. We drive down to Carmel, and we stay for 2 nights at their sheep ranch. So the 3 of us are there. We meet we met Francesca that night with her friend. We took her to Denny's, and we took a flask in, and we had Denny's with her. And that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Then the next day, we met with them on the restaurant on the golf course that he owns. They opened the restaurant for us to just have a meal together, and I sat 2 seats from him at the table, and he just ate split pea soup and made fun of artists. It was like that was his presence, was just there to like take the piss out of artists, and it wasn't spectacular. It was such a common thing.
Yeah, right.
You know, we got a couple of photos too, and there was.
You have a photo of Clint Eastwood?
With the family, yeah. One where I'm pretending to talk to him. It was really funny. So it's all of us in a row, and then the photographer's like, "Yeah, everybody look like you're talking." So I turned, and then it acted like I'm gesturing, like I'm talking, and then he takes another picture, and he's like, "Okay, now everyone just stand still." I was the only one who turned and looked like they were talking. Nobody else in the picture did, so it just looks like I'm just saying something to him, and everyone else is just standing there. It's kind of embarrassing, but kind of funny for a story.
Talking to Christopher Walken.
Yeah.
Adam, you'll have to overlay that photo on the.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, I want to see that.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
That's a good idea.
So that's my biggest celebrity story. That was pretty.
That's pretty damn good.
That was pretty fantastic. Yeah.
It's probably the best one.
It was funny.
But I've been to countless concerts and comedy shows and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And had plenty of opportunity to like stay after the show, you know, we're signing autographs. I always.
Yeah.
I'm just. I don't know. There's something awkward about it, you know. Like,
very awkward. It's a.
I wouldn't want to meet them under those circumstances. Like, I would want to meet them backstage at a show that I'm also playing with the band. You know what I mean?
Yeah, as a peer.
Exactly,
you know.
Peer. Not just like
the fan interaction is just always uncomfortable.
It always feels uncomfortable to me, you know. And I mean, I know, you know, some celebrities obviously handle it a lot more graciously than others, and I think of. If I was on the receiving end of that, you know, I would be grateful that somebody even wanted to, you know, pick or you know, share a word together. But I don't know. I just can't bring myself to be at the other side of it. It's
you know, it would depend on my mood.
Yeah.
You know, I'm so fickle.
Sure.
Sometimes, like, if I'm feeling a little squirrely, I might do something.
Right. So, have you had it after shows where people want, you know, signed shit or
signed it? No one's ever asked me to sign anything. Yeah. It is a little awkward after a good show. I don't really like. I'm a little too in my head, and I don't like to. Talk too much. Say I'm thinking about, you know, how I play,
right?
So, you know, something like and like the energy that I've built up and that I've spent, and I'm not. I don't love talking to people. No one's ever asked me for an autograph.
Yeah, that's
not yet.
Yeah,
not yet.
Hey. I got a question to ask you.
Yeah.
At the end of the show, maybe.
Okay.
Small request. I'm.
Have you ever had some of this?
Many times.
Really?
Not.
Are you famous?
No, not even.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean,
so humble.
You know.
Is he famous?
We're all famous, aren't we?
Me and Leo DiCaprio. You know,
yeah. My girl that I went to school with forever, from kindergarten through high school, dated him.
Really?
When she junior year of high school, she got discovered in New York as a model, and she moved to Paris or Italy and became a Victoria's Secret model, changed her Jewish name to something, Heatherton.
Okay.
And
Heatherton?
Heatherton.
Okay.
It's much more Victoria's Secret.
More marketable.
Yeah, I guess it really is. Yeah, that is Victoria's Secret.
Yeah. And yeah, she dated Leonardo DiCaprio.
Dang.
Which is funny because I remember in like 3rd or 4th grade or whenever he kind of broke out, her and all the other girls, you know, he was the guy.
Yeah.
You know, he was the guy, and sure enough to see her. And what I really love about her, because I she's great, and but what I love about her story was her brother was always kind of like a nerdy guy, really just kind of awkward. But when I see pictures of him, ever since his sister blew up, I see pictures of him on Facebook and stuff, just partying with models and you know, going across the world. You know, I was like, good for you guys. You know, I very happy to see it.
Then she reached 25, which is Leo's cutoff. That's
right. Pretty sure.
To the curb.
Pretty sure that's exactly what happened.
Reached the expiration date.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I guess that's probably the biggest celebrity I ever met. But it was before there were celebrities, I guess. I tried really hard to get her in one of my music videos. Yeah, right.
Yeah. Hey, maybe now.
Maybe not.
Come a long way, baby. I don't see you in the papers anymore.
But yeah, not famous in the slightest. I think there's something about at least the genre of music, playing rock shows and stuff like that.
Yeah, it makes you bigger than life.
Yeah, so I mean,
that.
So we'll be at the merch booth and people will be buying a CD and they're like, let me sign the CD. You know,
what's your band?
I don't know now. Yeah, it's defunct. It's Indolent was the name of it, and we're together for like 2005 to 2013.
Yeah,
and,
okay.
Yeah, we played the Metro, and we did achieve some local success.
Right.
Didn't actually
like a prog band? Or?
No, straight thrash metal is
thrash?
You know, 100%. So much fun. Just all energy, you know, on stage is fucking, and man, I'm sure you can relate. It's kind of true for any genre of music. When you're locked in with your band and you're fucking just killing it, and you're just like, and you know you're killing it, you know, and the crowd's like fucking just.
Well, you're all there on the same page. You're all there together.
It's the best feeling in the fucking world.
You're like flying.
That's
what it was like last week. You know, it was just.
I can imagine.
Yeah, you guys were great.
Yeah. Thank you. It was such a. I could just, you know, we've been together for about maybe like 4 years or something, and the musicianship was always there, but like I feel like now we're really a band now.
Yeah.
You know, we've really come together and like have a sound.
Right. There's like a language you kind of develop with each other where it's almost nonverbal. You know, you would nod to each other. You know by your fucking body movements and like here comes the change, and you know it's so awesome.
When you get a good drummer that can lead that, you know, that's
everything.
Big part of it. And as a drummer that can really like listen to the song and kind of even, you know, the drummer really directs the dynamics of the sound.
That's nice. Yesterday's episode, the drummer and the bassist. We talked a little bit about the kind of band dynamics, you know. Matt being a drummer, Creeker being the bassist. It was kind of interesting to hear from them on, you know. Yeah,
especially, you know, for a bassist, it's so tied to the drums.
Yeah.
It's you know, it's really this second in rhythm.
Yeah.
They had a lot to teach yesterday. It was good.
I want to watch that. I can't wait to watch that.
There's a reason, you know, drummers are spread so thin because, you know, like a good drummer is always in demand. Totally. Usually in 3 or 4 bands or projects, just trying to. Because I mean, you can have a essentially mediocre guitarist or, you know, even singer and a great drummer, and it will just something about it carries it elevates the whole project.
It's really the glue.
Yeah, because I mean, especially, you know, live gigs you guys are playing on, people want to dance, they want to, you know what I mean, they want to tap their foot and groove along. It's like if he's in the pocket killing it, it's
totally.
Everything else is kind of just details.
I've always loved really just powerful drummers, people that just bang that shit out of those drums. I always loved
Okay.
that.
Bomb or something.
Yeah.
So, interesting topic, but I think we should take a few minutes for a break and just kind of clear our heads, have some cheese, and
Sure.
yeah.
Where are we at?
Try not to peek at the painting. I know that I've positioned it now where you can kind of see it. It's okay.
I can't really.
But yeah, it's still pretty much at like a.
Yeah.
But yeah, the reveal. I like for the reveal to be the real deal reveal.
Sweet. Where's the washroom?
All right, so use the washroom. Use the bathroom. Use whatever you call it.
The shitter.
You let me know that this was my chance. You came here with my best friend Jen. Here you are trying to steal me away from him. Well, if I don't do it, you know somebody else will. If I don't do it, you know somebody else. Well, if I don't do it, you know somebody else will. Well, if I don't do it, well, I won't.
I've seen them a bunch of times. I've seen them
Okay.
in Milwaukee. I've seen them in Chicago.
Okay, we're back. Jamie, we're gonna switch to you for these close-ups. And you guys were just talking about your guar experiences.
Guar.
I've never seen them live. Could you tell me who they killed on stage when you saw them?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think Britney Spears.
Oh shoot! Oh my.
They had a giant Ronald Reagan robot, which was so like Guar, like their thing is they chop off limbs and spray blood everywhere and stuff. And it's pretty gross but fun. But I got a shot of purple
Close one.
goo just right in the back of my throat, and it was horrific. It was like warm, which reminds me, I once saw ICP, the Insane Clown Posse.
Oh yeah.
I saw them, which was so fun.
Yeah.
I believe it. That's
So-
really hilarious.
It was so much. It was at the Portage Theater.
Got Juggalos.
Yeah. It was so fun, but it was what was gross about it was they spend the whole time spraying Faygo root beer all over,
Right.
and like you're already like in a rock club, and it's like already sweaty in the mosh pit. It's already kind of gross,
Yeah.
and then you're just getting splashed with warm, sticky root beer, and it's just you get it in your mouth, and it's just nasty, but
I'm sure you caught a few things.
Well,
for sure, just so sickly, but very fun.
But fun, yeah.
So fun.
I mean, I wouldn't turn it down. It seems like it'd be a good time. The music never really connected with me.
When I was about 13,
I think that's about the age.
yeah,
level.
that's right. It really made a lot of sense.
Those guys are got to be in their 50s or 60s now.
Sure,
And they're still
sure.
having more power to them. It's
Like Kiss.
right.
I
We're having a bit
remember.
of a Kiss renaissance right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were my favorite band when I was a teenager, and then I saw them and it kind of left a bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But I've been listening to them lately. Their first album, and like some of their early stuff, it's pretty like almost punk, like pretty solid New York rock and roll.
Right.
Like
right.
Stones or what is it, the New York Dolls or Ramones, just like really just solid, good rock and roll. That's some grit to it.
So, what was it about the live performance that turned you?
They're just not as
Just
good
that
as
they're
I thought
old
they were.
now.
Huh?
That they're old now. That they're.
Maybe. You know what it was? I'll tell you exactly the moment it was when Paul Stanley started playing. He like played the first few bars of Stairway to Heaven, and he was singing it. It just wasn't good. It was just not good, and I thought, man, these guys are not as...
These poor old rich men.
Yeah, really.
I mean, I guess
Yeah.
like in theory, I can see he has a voice that could potentially sing that song. You know what I mean? Like he has that.
Yeah, it's a high register.
Yeah,
He's
up
but
there, but
he's so like vibrato and it's a wild voice and really swings up and down and doesn't.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That plus the fact that Gene Simmons just seems like a total D-bag. I don't know.
I love that guy.
He comes off as
he does, but he also comes off as what he is. You know,
Sure, yeah.
There's no like you get what you get.
No, that is true. Yeah.
Like Andrew Dice Clay.
Sure.
Yeah.
Although that's a character.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I learned that on his show.
He has a show.
It was a fictional story, but it was about him, his life. So it was. He was playing himself, you know. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, I'll check it out. I like Andrew Dice.
Yeah. I don't remember what it was called. Did you ever see it?
Yeah.
Was it Dice or something?
Yeah,
something like that.
Something Dice,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, it was like a reality show, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was.
Reality
Yeah,
show
it was.
where he never breaks character.
I mean, yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's fun. So you threw him on again, and you're just kind of falling back in love with that.
Yeah, I don't remember how it started. I guess they've been in the news lately because they're on their fifth or sixth final, farewell tour. I think this is the big
This is
one.
the real one.
The real one, yeah.
For realsies.
So it just sent me a little bit down. They have a look, obviously.
Yeah.
But it's
Go on.
It's pretty damn striking.
It's a little Guar-like, isn't it?
It's a little
Guar-esque.
Guar-like. And I was always like I love pro wrestling.
Yeah.
And I like the pageantry.
Uh-huh. A show worth seeing is a show worth seeing.
That's right.
And I think that, like the ICP thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's theater.
It's theater.
You know?
It's exactly. It's art.
Mm-hmm.
It's performance art.
Yeah.
I think it's Slipknot and the Masks.
Slipknot,
Mhm.
Slipknot's great.
All that fun stuff.
Yeah.
I saw them live. It was fucking.
Oh yeah, I saw them. I used to go to Ozfest every year.
Yeah. You and I might have crossed paths.
We might have. Yeah.
I'll bet you've been in the same room more than twice.
I would imagine
I
so.
wouldn't doubt it. Yeah. Yeah, I used to go to shows. That was my whole life.
Yeah.
I can't remember the last time I bought tickets to something.
To an actual show.
Yeah.
No?
It's been all
Why is that?
comedy for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I go to stand-up comedy very regularly.
Yeah?
Like just a few weeks back, I was at the Den Theater. I saw Greg Simmons there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, fucking super fun.
How was that?
They're just, I don't know. I have this thing. I'm so, just chameleon-esque. Like in a comedy room. Like even if the I'm not saying that Greg was not funny, but like even if let's say I was at a show that the comedian was not great, just the room being like
there is something to that room.
I capture that and I laugh my ass off regardless. You know, it's just like I feed off that energy so much. But then if it is a killer comedian like he was, like I actually have to stop myself from laughing because I'm getting dizzy. I'm like my face is cramping because I'm laughing too hard. Like it's almost maniacal.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. I love comedy. I saw Norm Macdonald.
Same,
that'd be good.
Like 10 years ago, and it was probably the funniest.
Something of him in your voice.
Huh?
I feel like he lives on in your voice.
Yeah, you
a little
think so?
bit.
Yeah, maybe.
In ways at times. Yeah, I hear him.
I do love the guy.
I think it's mainly just when you say the words Norm Macdonald.
Well, the way Dave Letterman would say it, Norm Macdonald.
Yeah, actually, I met him after the show. Not intentionally.
Norm Macdonald?
Yeah. So back to our previous conversation about me, I had no intention of actually shaking his hand or asking for an autograph or anything like that. We were out in the lobby, and my brother went to the bathroom, and I was just kind of standing by the side door, and he comes out like with a team. They're walking him to the car or whatever, And I think he assumed I was like a fan, like just like camping out waiting for him. So he threw his hand out. He's like, "Yeah, thanks for coming." I was like, "Oh shit!" I was like, I didn't even realize this is total happenstance.
Cool moment.
Yeah, and I shook his hand. I was like, "Dude, you're the greatest. I love you."
He is the greatest.
Yeah,
crazy funny.
Yeah.
I was probably like 10 years ago when I saw him. At the time he died, I was actively tracking his tour dates to try to catch him again.
Oh man,
it's funny because then my brother came out of the bathroom. I was like, "Dude, you're not."
Oh no!
pretty bad timing. Yeah.
I did. I was at the Comedy Cellar in New York.
Yeah, nice.
And Chris Rock and Dave Chappelle both dropped in.
Oh my god, that's
cool.
awesome. Yeah. That's the cool thing about clubs like that.
Oh yeah.
You never know. I saw. I went there last summer, 2021. I was doing some work in New York, and I was like, I gotta visit this place. It's a they call it an institution. And yeah, it was a bunch of like kind of like middle acts, up and comers, but then Dave Tell came out and just fucking leveled the place.
Yeah.
He's so good.
He's great.
Yeah.
He was on. I didn't see him, but when the night I went, he was hanging out on the steps there.
Yeah. He seems like a resident almost.
I'm pretty curious to hear more about your time in New York.
Oh yeah. Well,
what was that like for you? And how long did you live there?
Very brief.
Like what you told me a bit about busking one time, but what was your life like there?
It was pretty great. I'd always wanted to move out there, and but I wasn't there very long. I moved there in fall of 2019, and I kind of hit the ground running. I was working in kosher restaurants and started doing like making. I did some film work in Chicago and like was starting to make connections and stuff, and just kind of run around.
What were your ambitions there? Like, were you...
Well, I wasn't exactly sure.
Okay.
I knew I wanted to start a band. I knew I wanted to find some creative shop work or like carpentry or film or art department or something. And I wanted to just be in New York. The story Adam's referring to, remind me, what was it?
This is the home free man? Or
okay,
homeless man?
So,
I don't know
so I was in the subway playing music and this homeless guy who had been there the whole time, but I didn't notice him because he was sleeping. He was just kind of hunched over. All of a sudden, I'm singing, and he wakes up and goes, "You suck, man!" And he starts screaming at me, like, "You got no soul. You fuck. This is my home. I see thousands of musicians a day, and you suck." And there were these Christian women handing out pamphlets. And he goes over to them and like, "Doesn't this guy suck?" And it was so like, and when he said you have no soul, it was like he was saying you don't have a soul.
Right.
And it cut so deep, and it haunts me to this day. Like
crazy.
That he might have seen something in me that I didn't see. That I don't have a soul, and I got very drunk that night. That was brutal.
For him?
Huh?
For him?
Brutal.
It was a drunk day for him?
No, it was a drunk day for me.
It was probably a drunk day for him.
Yeah. Possibly.
Were you playing covers or originals?
I don't know. I was playing, whatever.
I was gonna say, at least if it was a cover, at least it was somebody else's song.
That's true.
It was probably like a Johnny Cash song or something. I don't know. But man, it was brutal.
It's still
always say
very funny story.
Shit like that is more of a reflection of that person than of you.
Of course.
I guess, except
I'm sure
I
he
guess
is,
you're
but-
still.
Maybe he's the one with no soul. I don't know.
It's most likely, you know, the pot
Yeah.
calling the kettle black.
Yeah, but man. And then the pandemic hit, and then I came back to Chicago. I was still paying rent in New York and just kind of waiting to see what was going to happen. But it looked like things weren't going to open up, and eventually I just cut my losses and went back, got my stuff, and then it's so funny. That was in 2020. We're coming on 2023 now. I was single in another city with we're waiting tables and making art and stuff, and now I'm married, I have a baby, and
right.
a steady job, you know.
Yeah. Where did that happen? Where'd you meet her?
Well, she's my high school sweetheart.
Whoa.
My wife. And we've been in each other's lives our whole lives. Literally, we grew up a block away from each other.
Cool.
And we kind of went our separate ways in our 20s, but always stayed close. And at a certain point, so when the pandemic hit, I went and stayed with her in her studio apartment.
Gotcha.
And
Classic move.
yeah. And everything was closed, and she was working from home, so we were on top of each other in one room for months.
All right, let's not get too graphic. This is Christmas episode.
It just it was like that was the test. Like this is either it or it isn't, and it was.
Trial by fire.
Yeah, truly. And I can't imagine not doing it, but it's also so complete 180 turn in my life.
That's insane. Well, congrats, man.
Thank you.
That sounds nice.
I don't regret a
Right.
damn thing about it.
And it's like, if you would have told you in New York, the bums yelling at you, like, ride this out, like, you got good shit in the pipeline.
It's the closest thing to destiny or fate that I could ever possibly describe. It was almost. I mean, it was a spiritual.
Cool.
Thing.
That's wonderful, and it's. You wish you could give that perspective to people who are in a low or dark place. And I, there's a conventional wisdom. It's it's always darker before dawn and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, that's nice to hear.
Yeah.
Pretty dark these days.
You hear that?
I mean, look at me. It's dark. It's real dark.
You're spreading Christmas cheer.
That's the goal.
But there's really no way to impart that upon somebody.
Yeah.
And have it actually land and be like, okay, you're right. I just gotta ride this out. It's like, because you're just riding. You want the fuck out. You want it to change. And just. Yeah, it's hard to.
It happens completely out of the. You really don't know where.
It's
and
interesting,
when
and on the flip side, it's also like this high can't last forever. Shit's always gonna go.
Oh yeah,
always,
Oh, for sure.
Peaks and valleys.
It's gonna be a teenager. That valley is coming. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's a cool story to hear.
Yeah, wow, right?
You guys ever think about going back to New York?
No, I don't think so. Not anytime soon.
Yeah.
Maybe if work would eventually pose an opportunity, maybe. But probably not. And like now, I wouldn't want to be like. I only want to move closer to my parents. And
right.
That makes sense.
That's where I'm at too. Just I've lived in a different place and I kind of experienced that, and there's a lot of value in it, and it did literally change my life. So I mean, I would never not do it, or I wouldn't advise anybody to not move away and experience something. But but it did offer the perspective of at least where my priorities lie. And
totally.
I do need to be close to my people, and
it's cool.
It's
nice to hear those words.
Yeah, and you're one of those people.
Well, I mean, Do you think you'll live in the city? Yeah, you'll get there maybe.
Yeah, we're getting there.
If you stay the way you are, you better not change.
Sorry to do this, but how are we doing on time?
For time, we're getting pretty
2:30.
close to the end of the painting too. So, yeah, I feel like yeah, we started a little late, but
Yeah, we're right at 2:30.
I think we're pretty close here.
Sweet. Okay. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Sure.
Sound his face.
Yeah.
Well, there goes that. With,
Oh, Chicago. It's great. It's
not
really
like you're
great.
settling.
Yeah.
It's
No.
an awesome place to
And
be.
like I'm so romantic that everything that everything I got out of New York, I get out of Chicago in a different way.
Right.
You know, working at the Museum of Science and Industry, looking for ghosts. You know, it's just as good. You know, it's fine by me.
And you experience. So you actually
I went out, I did it, I didn't like I had a great time, and it really I'm very glad I did it.
Man, I wish I had done New York. By this point, I mean, when I was okay with abject poverty, you know, it's like I wish I would have done it then, and it would have been like, oh man, I've got some crazy memories and incredible scars and psychological wounds. To talk about. But I think that I just got those elsewhere. Yeah. It's like that. That's what those super poverty times where you're following your dream are like.
Totally.
Yeah. And it's awesome.
Yeah.
I didn't do it there. I got to go to San Francisco and live there for a couple years. I got LA for 4 years.
Yeah.
Then came back here. I don't think this is the settling place for me. I really cannot imagine that I'll settle here. I do like, like Jamie was saying, all my family is here in one place pretty much, so that makes it easy, but I don't feel like we're in each other's lives quite enough for that to be an aim for me. I just have a different relationship with my family. We don't, the youngest, I guess, so.
You're the youngest?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
me too. You were also the youngest. So it's like I find what I need out in the world that a lot of other people find from their family. And I think that it's hard to imagine that changing for me. So I don't think I would move back to be closer to them, but that that could change too. Yeah,
I didn't expect that to happen.
A kid would change that pretty dramatically.
It really does.
Because that's like a built-in babysitter. Is to have family.
Both in a practical way, but also in like a holistic way. Too,
yeah.
You know?
Do you have an idea where you might want to wind up at?
New York is such a cool idea still. I need to make sure that it's a realistic life where I'm not going to just feel like I'm in hell every day.
Yeah.
So I would need to really be on a mission, and this show has put me on a mission. This is where all of my creative output is going these days. So
and it's a worthy pursuit, man. I think this is really.
I really do think this is my calling. I mean, this is what I'm meant to do. These are combining all of my favorite things in life, and doing all of them at once.
Yeah.
So, not very well.
And we beg to differ.
No, I'm just joshing.
You get better every time, though. It's you.
I think
gaining skills.
To be honest, I would pay to do this for the rest of my life I'm paying now to do it. Jesus, what an expensive thing this is. Holy cow! I can't even believe it.
Yeah.
This is like I bought a car. This was an expensive year for this show coming into fruition, and worth every penny, worth every sacrifice. So
and it's such
this could bring me elsewhere.
Yeah.
Like I could. The dream for me would be to treat it like a Fight Club and open separate chapters in different cities and have other people painting people on the show under the same title. And really try to paint everybody. And the more people helping, the more we can paint like together, and the larger this community can grow of people who are actually networking in person in a meaningful way. And then there's this sort of document of the meeting.
Right.
I don't know. Yeah, to me,
What an awesome vision.
to me, it has such value, and I just don't care if anyone sees it. It's like, yeah, I don't know how to explain that. I've never felt that way about something.
Yeah.
It's cool.
But that's the only way to do it too. Is you just put your head down and just do the work
That's
and,
right.
Yeah.
and create, and the audience will find. You know, it's if there's a market for it, which I'm sure there is, because this is such a cool and unique idea. Yeah, man, I obviously wish you all the success with that.
Thanks.
Because it's.
If I succeed, you succeed.
Oh, thank you.
If the painting,
I'm running those coaches.
I mean, in one very literal way, in the sale of the painting, I split that with the guests on each show. So that's like you know, if that's any incentive to guests in the future who are sort of not sure if they want to participate or feel like I'm exploiting them, then it's like we're all in the same boat here.
Yeah.
If I don't sell the painting, I don't make any money either. I spend money only.
I don't think you'd have trouble finding.
Yeah, you'd be surprised.
Well, I mean, there are people that won't want to,
And
but
we are entering a sort of recession too, possibly. So it's like it's not the best time to be selling art in this world.
Right.
Which is why I think that
it's the time to be making it.
it's the best time to be making it, and it's the best time to be making a show like this that costs the viewers $0 to show support with likes and comments, for instance, and smashing of buttons. And,
Smashing of smash that subscribe,
Yeah.
smash the bell. Yeah.
Man, there's just so many podcasts now, and they all seem the same format. It's you know, and you come up with a really cool
yeah, I think
take on it all.
I love the entrepreneur podcast still. Those are always so good for me to listen to while I'm at work and just be like, oh man, these guys are so cool. Like I love people who do stuff. It's awesome.
Doing stuff's awesome.
And an effort to make a thing.
Yeah. Well,
I think this is
vision
able to be wrapped up. I just need to make a couple more brush marks, basically. So I want to make sure I'm not just like rushing only because of the clock.
Sure.
I want to do it well
You got
enough.
any gigs coming up?
No. So when my son was born, I went on hiatus, and so they found an alternate, and now we alternate.
Oh, I see.
Oh, interesting.
So he's doing the next one, which I think is going to be at Reggie's.
Fun.
Is he better than you?
At funk.
Okay.
I'm better at like blues and jazz. I think it's a very real question, and I asked that when I said, "Is he better than me?"
Yeah. Yeah, that your
you know,
alternate, is he going to one day be the permanent? You know what I mean?
Very well could be.
Am I helping or am I hurting by saying these words?
No, I think.
Jesus. Strange questions.
So far I've kept my spot secure, but sure, I could be replaced.
Anybody can be replaced.
Yeah.
Anybody.
Right.
That's something to learn in this world.
Sure, yeah. No, and he
Don't
is
ever get
very
too
good.
comfortable out there,
He
folks. Don't ever say words like folks either. God, I hate that one. But there's a spot I missed. Sorry, I missed the spot.
Huh?
I was just going to wrap it up, but then I realized, I haven't even touched this corner. Okay.
So
I mean, I can
you're
allude
running
to it with just simple drawing of shapes.
They're picking me up, and we're gonna go
You
fucking
go jam?
live it up, man.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have material ready, or are you just gonna kind of see what happens?
Yeah. I mean, I'm always writing. We're always all of us kind of bouncing ideas off of each other. But I have a backlog of.
Yeah.
I mean,
is it just the three of you, or
as of right now, just the three of
That's
us.
awesome.
So it's my other brother's a guitarist, and my little brother's a drummer. So you know, you don't really need bass. So. No, when that time comes, we have multiple friends that could fill the shoes.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
but
True.
right now it's just kicking around ideas and actually focusing our attention as opposed to just everything kind of being like a, you know, just a free for all. Where it's just like you can bounce ideas back and forth all day, but
Yes,
are you actually going to focus it into an actual project?
Yeah.
With a goal in mind. You know? And we're starting to actually do that because, yeah, I don't know. When I'm not doing it, I feel a true deficit in my life.
Totally,
You know,
totally.
So I talked to them about that. They don't feel the same. It's like, well, we all kind of live far-ish apart, which sucks, but so we're trying to do this weekly thing and actually, you know, get 5-6 songs together. Maybe record them, throw a demo together, and book a show and get right back on it.
Amazing.
I'm so psyched for it because it's been too damn long.
Awesome.
Yeah.
We didn't really get to talk about your time with Evil Engine.
Oh, yeah. Shout out.
What's Evil Engine?
It's a skate punk band I was in
Sweet.
for
Pretty fun.
2015 to 2020-ish. Yeah. Just it's high energy, fucking just smashing fucking chords and just yelling at the crowd.
All downstroke.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. All downstrokes.
I can't do it.
But yeah, just again, we had some minor success here, and we got to play for the day, open for the Dead Kennedys.
That was cool.
Badass. All right. Hell yeah. That's fucking cool. I once got to open up for Michael Graves,
No shit.
replacement singer of Glenn Danzig. When I went to get paid at the end of the show, the guy didn't want to pay me, and he was telling me that your payment is getting to open up for Michael Graves.
Oh God, those words. That's terrible.
I take cash.
Right.
Yeah.
Opening for Michael Graves doesn't pay my electricity bill.
No.
I'm not going to call ComEd and explain to them.
So I guess a thing that would be nice to do for the last thing would be to open your gifts.
I'm very excited.
They're in the socks.
All right.
In our respective corners here.
Unless you want to trade them, it doesn't really matter to me. So this is, you know.
Ooh, I am a coffee lover.
Are you?
I am.
What are those exactly?
Espresso beans.
Espresso.
They sound-
Chocolate covered espresso
They
beans.
sound pretty tasty to me.
Nice wrapping.
It's a big slide of pork.
That was, oh shit, that was meant for, whoops.
Little gnome.
Oh good, it went to the right person.
Ooh, fine art charcoal.
Yeah. Everybody gets,
Art supplies.
everyone gets coal this year. I'm painting everybody.
Taco Bell.
Free Doritos local.
This is awesome. This is perfect.
Adam, I didn't expect it.
Yeah.
Well, you know, you're talking to Santa here.
Thank you, Santa.
Yeah. This is, yeah. You
Very sweet.
I wear the skin of this man, and he just puts the spirit in me.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
I'm happy that you guys could come and that you could meet each other, and that you could allow me to stare at you awkwardly from behind all of this.
Anytime. Anytime. Yeah, man. It was a pleasure getting to know you a little bit too.
Likewise.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So we could call this finished. If I decide to touch it up, it would be later. I don't believe I will. I don't tend to do that. So try not to mind the glare that you'll find when you come back here to look, but
Ready for reveal?
here it is.
Will we come around?
Yeah. You should both be able to fit back there, hopefully.
And we can come over here.
Give it inside.
You can go around.
Whoa! That's me. That's you.
I love it.
It's excellent.
Yeah,
You really capture. Maybe I do have a soul. 'Cause I think you captured it.
I at least wanted to make you look like you did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, you capture the figures so well.
Yeah.
It's like I would know that was me. Like.
Yeah. Exactly. And it's such like.
You know, yeah. Mm-hmm. There's something strange that happens with these. It's almost like trying for photographic likeness in a painting like this or in a portrait. The person's almost more recognizable as they come into view from a distance.
Right.
You get to see the structure of their face, their skull. It's like that. These things that are the landmarks on people's faces are what make their likenesses recognizable to your brain.
How the hell do you do that?
So you're basically coming into focus, and that's the way that I'm approaching this. Is if I were to spend another 8 hours on the painting, sure, I would definitely highlight certain things and certain characteristics of each person.
But you don't need
to tell a story or create a narrative of the personality.
Right.
In a proper long form indirect painting style, portrait painting. But that's not what this is. This is really about coming into focus from a distance and just kind of everyone getting the first impression of each other, including me.
Yeah.
Very good.
How the hell do you do that?
I have no
It's really there. It's really.
Well, a lot of drawing.
Yeah.
Fake it.
Yeah.
You cannot fake this.
Yeah.
So I think that if I didn't know how to draw the way that I do, if I didn't understand the anatomy the way I do, or all of the things,
Gosh darn.
then I couldn't make this a convincing image. But since I do have that knowledge, I'm able to sort of pull back and let the viewer's mind do a lot of the work for them.
Yeah, man. That's a real talent. It's awesome.
And the landmarks I've placed, I think that they help to do most of the legwork. You don't have to use your imagination too much, but
Right.
you certainly do need to engage with the painting still.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when I'm saying that I would be able to recognize myself, I didn't mean that as like a.
Oh, I know.
It just
yeah,
surprised me.
I know what you mean.
It's
Yeah, it's like to capture it,
Yeah.
just in essence,
exactly
Yeah. Wow.
very cool, man.
I also
I
love
can't wait
it.
to see them all together.
I love the skull. The skull came out really cool.
The skull appears in every episode.
Yeah.
That's important. to
That,
remind people
that Hamlet or.
Well, we're all gonna die, and that's my favorite thing about anyone is that they're gonna die.
That camera angle of just Santa talking about we're all gonna die.
So just try to make sure you don't die alone. But joke's on you, we all die alone.
Wow.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.